Prince Philip is among the members of the royal family to have been fiercely lampooned in the HBO Max show The Prince. In the show, the Duke of Edinburgh is portrayed as drooling, with frail health and muttering incomprehensible sentences. In one scene Prince Philip, voiced by Dan Stevens, is shown eating pureed mush at the dinner table. In another, he collapses on the floor while fellow royals surround him to get on with their chats, seemingly unbothered. The choice of targeting Philip in the show despite the Duke's passing in April has been criticized by some social media users. One wrote on Twitter, "I'm no royal family fan or anything, but seeing as Prince Philip has passed away the way HES portrayed on The Prince on HBO is a little upsetting." A royal supporter wrote, "They've even stooped so low as to include Prince Philip in this vulgar animation, The Prince. Bullying 3 children, so their parents, and Her Majesty the Queen, who is currently grieving the loss of her husband of 73 years. What a kick in the guts to royals." Another, replying to this Twitter user, wrote, "Never been a fan of the royal family but even I'm beginning to feel bad for them. Prince Philip lost his family, home as a young boy, fought against the Nazi regime and gave a lifetime of service. He was a proud man too. Very sad to see him portrayed this way." Royal author Robert Jobson, author of the book Prince Philip's Century: The Extraordinary Life of the Duke of Edinburgh, described the depiction made of the late royal in the show as cheap but believes Philip would have taken it with a pinch of salt. He told Mail Online, "The depiction of the Duke of Edinburgh as an old buffoon is a little cheap and unnecessary, and at this moment in time it may be out of place, but satire has been going on for centuries. He had a sense of humor about his time, and he obviously would have taken this with a pinch of salt." The Prince is a 12-episode show created by Gary Janetti. It imagines the day-to-day life of members of the royal family seen through the lens of a heavily fictionalized Prince George. The show was initially due to air in the spring but it was pushed back following the death of Prince Philip on April 9. In the wake of his passing, the network issued a statement saying, "We were saddened to learn of Prince Philip's passing and will adjust plans for the series debut. A new date will be announced at a later time. Each episode begins with a warning, presented as an old-fashioned decree, stating the characters and events depicted in the show are not real. The warning reads, "But please note, all persons and events in this show are entirely fictional. Like, this isn't really the royal family. It's like a parody, or whatever. And certain recent events will not be reflected in this program because, again, not real." Among the other members of the royal family who are mocked in the show, there is Prince Harry, voiced by his Montecito neighbor Orlando Bloom. In one scene, the fictionalized Duke of Sussex appears to struggle to grasp the concept of apartment. While wandering around a normal-looking apartment in California, he tells Meghan, "This might be the smallest palace I've ever been in." Meghan, voiced by Condola Richard, said, "Well, it's an apartment." To which the Duke replied, "Yes, an apartment palace, I know that. Lots of tiny palaces inside one big palace." The Queen, voiced by Frances de la Tour, is seen throwing a tantrum over wanting a sweet treat. And the union of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, voiced by Iwan Rheon and Lucy Punch respectively, is depicted as unhappy.